The Oklahoma Republican Party adds new priorities to its platform, and they've caught some people's attention, such as stopping funding increases for public schools and banning things like 5G technology and mail-in voting.
News 4's Spencer Humphrey is here with why the party added these things to its wish list and the odds of any of them actually ever becoming law. Spencer?
Well, yeah, guys, if you follow Oklahoma politics at all, the Republican Party is top dog in this state, holding every statewide elected office and a supermajority in the legislature. They don't really have to compromise much with the other side, meaning few roadblocks stand in their way. It's a big new opportunity for Charity Lynch.
I am the newly elected chairman of the Oklahoma Republican Party.
Oklahoma Republicans picked her to lead the party forward at the state GOP convention in Oklahoma City over the weekend, where GOP members also voted to update their platform with some new policy priorities, like abolishing the income tax, abolishing the minimum wage, abolishing the Federal Reserve, and opposing any increased state funding for government schools. We asked Lynch if she could explain the specifics of that one.
No, I have not had a chance to review that, so no, I cannot. The party does support public schools. I believe that they just don't want the government overreach, the federal government telling us what to do. It should be locally run, it should be state run.
But if push came to shove, would Oklahoma Republicans vote for legislation that would stop public schools from getting more funding?
I don't know. The party would have to see. I would say that would have to go to the vote and see how the people felt.
Also among the party's updated platform, support for the elimination of all 5G technology.
Well, it affects sleep, it affects rhythms in your body. There is studies where it can be the cause of some cancers.
Those claims, initially spread by conspiracy theorists during the COVID-19 pandemic, have been repeatedly debunked by scientists across the world, including the National Institutes for Health, whose studies found no confirmed evidence that 5G frequencies are hazardous to human health. Also new to the Oklahoma GOP's platform for 2025, the party will only support day of in-person voting with limited exceptions. That would mean for most of us, no early voting, no mail-in voting.
I do believe that Oklahoma is one of the states that has the best election system in the country, probably the very best, and it is still susceptible to challenges and susceptible to cheating. And so how do you make sure there can't be cheating? You take away all of the factors that would allow it.
Now, she couldn't cite any specific examples of widespread voter fraud in Oklahoma offhand, and the state election board has told us numerous times there is no evidence of widespread voter fraud in the state.
We need to have a conversation around the table. So if you can't get there on the same day, why is that? And perhaps we need to just discuss parameters.
Now, it probably goes without saying, Democrats like Senator Carrie Hicks have some issues with the opposing party's platform.
That I'm not hearing from my constituents that they want funding to remain flat for public education. I have not been contacted about eliminating 5G technology. You have supermajorities in both chambers. I think every Oklahoman should be concerned that at some point those priorities will rise to the level of the problems that are being presented in this chamber as real problems.
But when it comes to ending the vitriol and divisiveness plaguing politics today, believe it or not, these two opposites actually agree on a solution.
What I would urge folks to do is to get off your phone and get out in your community.
To quit going to social media and just trying to rile up a problem, and instead try to come to a solution.
Making sure that you are really connecting with people in real life about the situations that are most important to you.
If we have the conversations and we get past pride, I think we will get more done.
And one thing about the Oklahoma Republican Party's platform, Lynch wanted to point out, she says just because something is in there doesn't mean every single member of the party supports it. She says it simply means at least a majority of the Republicans at the convention and able to vote voted in support of it.